Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to episode 65 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Portland, Oregon. I'm joined by a few of my favorite people hanging out with Hydra List tonight. How you doing, Hydra?
I'm doing awesome. I'm super stoked for the show. Who else do we got?
We got Electric Sheep City here. Hey, Sheep, how's it going?
Meowdy, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. And we got a really special guest joining us tonight, DracoCatt. How's it going, dude?
Yo, it is a pleasure to be here. I'm having an awesome night, and I'm stoked to be hanging out with you three dudes.
Love it. Hey, okay, so before we get started with the show, I have one piece of housekeeping that I'm very excited to share with everybody. So I have some bad news. Just kidding. So joining us now on a permanent basis, Electric Sheep City, going to be filling in as our permanent co. So welcome to the show. Super excited to have you.
Congratulations.
We have worked with you tons and tons behind the scenes for months now on the listener series, and have had you on essentially what has been like every set review that we've ever done, and just love working with you and really excited to have you join the show permanently. So welcome, and yeah, happy to have you. And then switching gears for a second, I want to do a little bit better job announcing our special guest tonight. So let me hype you up a little bit. So we've got DracoCatt joining us. He is a streamer, multi-legend, high-legend Hearthstone player, specializes in Demon Hunter. Okay. Previously in a band, Cabaret Runaway, part of the MetaBreakers Hearthstone podcast. Alongside D-Money and Warshack, and a member of Hype Horizen. Welcome to the show, and we get to kind of induct you into the Wild format, so very excited to have you on. Thanks for joining us tonight.
That was an amazing intro. So good. I feel, I don't know, like I feel so much cooler now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do want to say a big thank you. Several months back, I reached out and I was like, hey, I want to do something different with the show. I want to kind of make it cool. What do I do? And you gave us some great pointers. It was really fun. Just, hey, get some stinger transitions. Here's where I get mine. Hey, do some animated backgrounds. Here's some ideas. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? It was just wonderful and very eye-opening. And I appreciate it very, very much. So
you got a dynamic background and transitions now. I just noticed that. Oh my gosh. Look at us go.
We changed it up a little bit tonight to Demon Hunter it up a tiny bit. There's usually like some fire and stuff, but we got some green
I like it.
things going on today. So yeah, hey, so for people who are watching the show live or listening to it after the fact, can you tell us a little bit about yourself for people who aren't familiar? Kind of like, who's DracoCatt, how long you've been playing Hearthstone, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. I started playing Hearthstone originally in the Grand Tournament, and I basically just built really bad combo priest decks with Inner Fire. And then I eventually got back into it right outside of the Knights of the Frozen Throne, yeah. And I basically at that point went through the whole like normie perspective of playing Hearthstone, where you try to get good and then realize it's way harder, and then you spend a whole year trying to accomplish legend for the first time, and then what'd you say? Sorry.
I said, oh yeah, I've been there.
Right. Yeah. And then after finally doing it, you're not able to replicate it for like another year, where you can do it every single month. So I basically went through that whole perspective. But around, I would say like 2019, like late 2019, I started to like get pretty consistent at like staying like really high legend with whatever I'm playing. But then I also kind of pivoted around that time to only playing Demon Hunter. So it was kind of so since April, since the class came out, I pretty much was like, I'm gonna be the Demon Hunter guy. And when the class was announced and there was a new class in Hearthstone, everyone was like, everyone says that. Everyone's gonna be the Demon Hunter guy. Why are you special, Draco? I was like, no, but I'm gonna do it like really hardcore. And then everyone was like, sure, man, sure. Yeah, eventually, yeah, I just kind of never strayed from it. I stuck to it, and it's kind of transformed into its own thing because I originally was like, I hope I can be good at playing this class. Like, I don't want to commit to playing to something that I'm not really great at. And then eventually that transitioned to like, why do people play these bad cards in this deck? I know this is dumb. I'm going to make the deck better. And then suddenly it's been like really incredible to create decks in Hearthstone that were actually better than what everyone else was playing, and then see the deck that you created become like the normal one. And I've gotten to do that about 2.5 times now, where I got to change a deck and then watch everyone catch on to it, and then it is suddenly my deck is now the normal deck. And that is the most incredible feeling in a card game ever, and I'm addicted to it, and I love being a Hearthstone streamer and getting to actually impact the game. I never thought I would ever get to achieve something like that. So it's surreal, and I love my class. I love what I do, and I love all the formats of the class, including Wild. I'm really passionate about playing Wild Demon Hunter as well as Standard. And unfortunately, I can't play Casual. So that's about it.
So when Demon Hunter got those big nerfs at the beginning, instead of being disappointed, were you more like, yes, I'm gonna hold on, everybody else is dropping off, I'm remaining the Demon Hunter guy?
Oh man, the whole ride in the beginning was insane. I honestly wasn't even good at it in the beginning, and it was very tilting to be like, oh, that guy got the skull on 5. He wins. GG. Yeah, I hope I don't hate this next week. Like, so the nerfs when they happened, I was like, maybe this is good. Maybe this is good for everyone. So yeah, eventually once the whole power level, it wasn't stupid or silly. I liked it. I liked it more. Some of the nerfs I didn't agree with, like the things they did to Soul Demon Hunter back in the day, where they were like, Mystic goes to 4 and Blade Dance goes to 3. I was like, okay, couldn't we just do like one of these so that, we don't spend like an entire month of playing against Priest into the next meta? But you can't agree with them all. There was like 15, right? So at least 2 of them, I'm like, you
gotta wonder, this philosophy lately of reverting nerfs when things rotate to Wild. Like, I wonder if that'll happen with Demon Hunter as well. So we could see, like, what is it, Priestess of Fury go back up, or Skull go back down. I wonder if that'll happen
Into odd Demon Hunter.
You know what I don't hope though? I hope Aldrich doesn't go to 3, because that would probably be too good.
Oh, it'd be broken.
That wouldn't be cool, right? We would all be like, what? Wait, no, that one could stay 4, because odd Demon Hunter exists, and it definitely doesn't need the, altruist. That would be a little much.
Especially with how low to the ground odd Demon Hunter is right now. Oh man.
Yeah, but I missed like Metamorphosis at 5. I don't know. Like, I hit Legend with odd Demon Hunter early on, like before all the nerfs, and it was so fun, and it's it's still viable, but it's just not the same. So,
right. So going back a little bit to when you started Hearthstone, what actually got you into the game?
So I used to be a professional Smash Brothers player before getting into like strategy games in general, and I was kind of on the decline of realizing that kids are gonna have faster reaction speeds than me after all the things I've done in my life and everything. Like they're gonna be able to hit the button faster than me. So I'm definitely not gonna be able to continue playing fighting games at a professional caliber as I get older. So I always was kind of like really competitive and addicted to video games. So I was trying to find a way to pivot, and I tried playing StarCraft for a long time, and I realized that also really needed like a million things you have to do in a second, which was kind of why I was straying away from the fighting games. I was like, I need something I could just think and be good at because I can like obsess over it. And that's when I found Hearthstone, and I was like, this is perfect. I have like a whole minute to think about my turn, and if I can come up with something more clever, then I can be great. You know, it's that was honestly what made me love it. But I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger, but I never really got into Hearthstone in a competitive aspect until like 2018. And that's when I really like when I was phasing out of the Smash phase, and it just felt perfect. Yeah.
I really like that. It was basically based on the speed you can play the game, and your Hearthstone. Well, hold on here. I've got time to make my turn, and I don't care if the other guy's faster. Perfect.
Right. Yeah, I just like want to win a lot, and I am addicted. I like being really competitive and like try hard, and I can't do that with games that require reaction speed at like when I'm almost 30 and stuff now. Like, you know, I'm never going to be able to headshot people as fast as me when they're like, you know, 14 and like medicated or something.
You know, the great thing about that is you're probably the youngest one here.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're even slower than you are.
Exactly.
You guys are also not playing, you know, first-person shooters or StarCraft, so I think we all win.
I think we do.
Yeah, I gave up StarCraft a long time ago. Yeah. Even though my name is Hydra Sheep. I guess I should pick it. I guess I should I'll get the next one. StarCraft 3.
The name is Hydralisk. That I just tied that together right there, so thank you.
So one of the things we do like to ask on this show as well is, how did you get your username? Where did the username DracoCatt come from?
Yeah, this is fun to talk about. I with the band stuff that I was in, my band was very like emo and like kind of serious. So all of the artwork and branding stuff I had done for like the last, you know, 5, 6, 7 years of my life was all very like serious and edgy. And I just wanted to brand my stream around something fun that I liked. And so I really like cats. You know, I've always been like a cat person. So I knew I wanted to like brand it around some kind of cat. And originally, what was the first name I was going to go with? It was like something to do with a flying lion. Like because my cat's name is Sora, which means sky. And I was going to make it like Leo Heart or, you know, or like Sky Leo. That was it. That was the first thing I was going to do, is Sky Leo, and make it like a cat with like wings, and you know what I mean?
Cool.
But my other cat I have, his name is Khaleesi, and it's my fiance's cat. And I also really like dragons. So I was like, okay, we have a cat named after a dragon in my home. I could name myself like Dragon Cat. And then I was like, that doesn't really roll off the tongue. And then I thought about other words that were affiliated with dragons. And then I thought of Draco Meteor from Pokemon. And Draconic is actually like, I think it's like German, or I'm totally wrong. It is definitely from another language in the European region where they use the word Draconic to describe dragon things. And it's like a thing. So I was like, DracoCatt, it totally works. It's Dragon Cat. I have a cat named Khaleesi. It'll be super fun to design everything around. And then I landed on the 2 T's to make it, you know, just like pass. Yeah.
It was the cherry on top. Well, I love how much thought actually went into that.
Yeah. Thank you. I guess I never thought of it as being like a lot of thought, but you're right. It definitely was.
I mean,
was a long thing.
We've had Pizza on the show, and his story's pretty simple. He said he was eating pizza at the time. So,
really? That's what he said.
Yes. It's great. We've had everything, like some like crazy stories, like it's some, and then you've got people like me that was like, I'll just use my name. Jeez, that's great. I love that story, and I love how you've worked with all these different artists, right, to come up with this whole like library of artwork and emotes that are all customized around like you and your cat and all of the demon hunter stuff, and like they're just amazing. I love it.
I love, that's like my favorite part about streaming is like the whole like thinking of something and then getting it turned into art, and then getting to see it like come into reality. It reminds me of being in a band when I would get to like hold the album, or see a shirt that got designed. It's like now I have this animated scene that I made like completely in my image. Like it's, I don't know, I just love the creative like element to being a streamer, where you think of something that fits your brand, your design, and you get to just find the person who has the art style and then animate it. It's beautiful. It's fun. I love it.
Yeah, it's so neat. And I think, I mean, there's so many artists now that are so accessible that if you can think of the idea, it's relatively like you throw money at it, right? I mean, you find someone who has got the talent and who has the the skill set that you're looking for and the art style that you're looking for, but like you can, I don't know, I mean, it's kind of crazy to like make your ideas into reality. I love it. So we definitely have gotten a lot of inspiration from you in the past. So I really have appreciated your insight.
Yeah, man. Emotes, most addicting thing ever, man. Like I'm always trying to come up with the most clever, like new emote that fits something that like I want to do. It's just nonstop in here, man.
How many emotes do you have?
I have like around 30 or 40 at this point, and I'm not partner, so I can only have 5 up for tier 1.
That's
so,
crazy,
and I'm very
dude.
close.
That's
annoying.
Awesome. 30. Wow. We've got 3.
Those are rookie numbers, boys. No,
3 very good emotes.
that's what's important, though. As long as they're quality, right?
They're top tier. Yes, high quality. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's great.
I have a whole bunch of. Okay, here's a free design idea for anyone who ever wants to be a druid specialist. I've been trying to see someone create this, and for a long time. You guys ever heard of the beer golden monkey?
Beer golden monkey.
No,
It's by a brand called Victory. It's very popular in like the Northeast. You never heard of this?
Mm-mm.
It's called a Victory Golden Monkey, and yeah, Google it. Anyone who's listening, I really want a like anime version of what's her name, Elise Starseeker, like handing a golden monkey beer to like the camera shot.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Ooh,
So
9
it's like
point.
Bay anime Elise with the golden monkey beer in her hand, because she gives you the golden monkey and your dad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
This is a 9.5% beer.
yeah, it hits like a tank. Enjoy.
Wow, nice. We Hydra and I are over here in Pacific Northwest, so we're like on the opposite side of the
Oh,
states
that's
here,
a
but
bummer.
I've got some hipster stores that sell beers from everywhere, so there might be something around.
we'll find
So.
it. We'll find it. Yeah.
Well,
man.
I guess let's move on into what we've been doing for the week then. So, Nate, how's your week been? What have you been up to, man?
Yeah, it's been good. I feel like I keep saying this like week after week, like, oh, another busy week. And that's kind of how it's been. It's been interesting, I think, with at least where I'm at, like the COVID numbers are super low, the vaccine numbers are super high, and so everything is starting to open back up, and it's just made work very busy. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the time goes by quickly, but like the whole week is a giant blur. So I love when Friday hits and it's like, hey, I survived one more week. So yeah, that's cool. I did some co-op sessions early in the week with Blue Train and NHL. I was really trying to kind of push for 11 stars here, and am camped out at like right around 500 legend right now, which is cool. I did get my 1K Shaman over the past week, which was great. We did a little countdown stream, which was fun.
Nice.
From 30, we had 30 wins left to go, down to 1,000, and yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun hanging out, and then the Soul Sealer thing happened, and the meta was just miserable. And so Wild has been sort of a dumpster fire the last couple of weeks, and we'll talk about it in a minute, but like the ban hit, but then there were like the ban dodgers that could like still play the banned card for an extra day or two. So I've been like kind of ducking out of Wild the last couple of days and been playing a bunch of Mass Effect 3, which has been a lot of fun. So yeah, I was hanging out in DracoCatt's stream, and I have to say, like, between you and your chat have got like the best taste in music that I've heard in ages. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh, what is that song? I like it. I gotta look it up on Apple Music later. Oh, what is that song? Oh, what is that song? Like, it was great. I had to power through a bunch of work, and so I had you up on my phone in my office, and the music was awesome. And then it made me remember all these like emo and hardcore bands that I used to listen to a long time ago, like looking up the albums again, and it was so fun. And I heard like, okay, I remember when Baby Metal came out way back when, and I didn't really think twice about it, and then I heard it on your stream, and I was like, oh, I need to check that out again. And I have been like up to my eyeballs in like Baby Metal the last few days, and it's so good. Like it's insane. Like who would have thought? It's basically anime soundtrack. It's like a heavy metal with like K-pop
like a
singers.
meme.
It is. It's like, and then watching them perform with Judas Priest, it's like what in the world is happening right now? Like what world do we live in? They're like, it's anime soundtrack. Like I don't know what else to say. It's so good. Like
since about the age of 6, my son was mesmerized by Baby Metal. It, like absolutely, he loved it. It might have been the little girls on the stage dancing around and the heavy metal going on, and he just like he was zoned in and just loves it. Dad, can you play that song again? Yes, I can play that song again. that Gimme Chocolate song. He loved it.
It's so great.
Adorable and incredibly metal. Things that are not supposed to go together. You know, it's like the pretzels and chocolate of music.
Yeah. So that's been fun. And then Sheep and I last night got to hang out with Vapid, I'm going to mispronounce that, and Jordan on the People's Champ podcast, and that was fun. They wanted to chat about the listener series, and so we jumped on and chatted about that for a little while, and that was fun. It was good. So I'm happy to say I survived one more week, and it's now the weekend. I get to relax and hang out with the fam for Father's Day, so that'll be fun. Yeah. What about you, Sheep? What have you been up to?
Nice. So I've played actually a lot of Classic lately because, you know, I'm not pushing for 11x in Standard or Wild, you know, having fun. But I played a lot of Classic to try and push up to Diamond because I haven't quite gotten there in Classic yet. I've gone like back and forth from like Plat 5 to Plat 2 and down to 5 and back up to 2. Freeze Mage is a lot of fun. But whenever you run into those like control warriors, you just get wrecked. They can just like armor out of lethal, which is unfortunate. Did jam some Wild prepping for my THL match, which I dropped to Neji Boston 03. Neji Boston is a boss though. No shame in that.
He's very good.
Right? Yeah,
He
like
beats me
Neji
all
Boston.
the time.
Amazing. Did win though in Legacy THL against Turtle, who is my actually Wild teammate. So we're in the playoffs already, and got my 3-1 win there. Felt great.
Nice.
Also, like you said, was on the People's Champ podcast with Nate last night, which was a blast. And of course, Vapt and Jordan are good people. It was really chill. Played the Guff Book of Mercenaries, which like Guff is just such a good dude. Like I know we'll get into it a little bit later whenever we're going through like the news, but Guff is just like good people. He's
Yeah.
so just like, oh, his heart is so warm. It was just,
Yeah, it was great.
but we'll talk about that whenever we get to that part of it. But that was fun. In non-Hearthstone news, I worked a lot as well. Had today off for Juneteenth, which was cool. Worked on the Daily Bugle Lego build. Started Spanish Duolingo. If you do Duolingo, add me at eSheepCity there. Let's go.
I heard the bird. I heard the bird threatens to like murder you if you don't do your daily like Duolingo stuff.
Oh no! I'm like 3 days into it, and I've only done it. So like the bird hasn't come out with his
With the shiv yet?
shiv yet. Like you better practice.
Sorry, what language you said? Spanish?
Yeah, Spanish.
Nice.
I've done some German before, but like I live in Texas, and Spanish, like I have a decent handle on some stuff, but like not conversational. So it's like gonna try and buff that up, and since I'm going back into the world, actually like interact with it. So yeah,
Nice.
that's been fun. So
Very cool.
it's been a busy week, a really fun week. But that's been it for me. How was your week, Draco the cat?
My week was pretty fantastic. I do a lot of public speaking with my day job, though. So I had a whole bunch of days where I was talking for about 8 hours straight.
Wow.
And then I would go and stream for 4 hours straight afterwards because I teach during my day job. So by, I think it was yesterday, I sounded like, like it was, I just had too much talking going on. So I needed to like just chill for a day, and it was wonderful. But Hearthstone's been pretty good this week. I basically I fell. I have this thing that happens maybe like once every other month where I fall from like 500 legend to like rank 2000, and then I have to get back, and it takes me like 3 or 4 days, and we successfully accomplished that.
Nice.
I got pretty close to 7k MMR just trying to play Battlegrounds for the first time. I feel like I'm still just kicking on butt with it, so I'm gonna see how far I can go with that, kind of on the back burner. And I almost I played a good bit of Wild with like this Wild OTK Demon Hunter, where it's a Reno OTK Demon Hunter. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. I think his name. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Doing it first.
Was it Martian's List, or are you playing a different one?
I played Martian's List a good bit on stream the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. I missed the OTK. I'm really curious to check that out. Yeah,
it's a Reno OTK deck. So it runs like all the good spell damage minions, all the good lifesteal cards, a ton of card draw. It runs the Death Rattle package with like Death Speaker, and then it primarily uses the 2/1s to cycle. What are they called? The Loot Hoarders. Yeah.
Right.
It's really fun. People have no idea what you're doing, and then all of a sudden they're dead. It's and you have a lot of heal and obviously like ways to stabilize and Reno and stuff too. So,
Nice. That sounds spicy.
I tried that big one as well, and that one I finally got that achievement for the Tainted Hearts achievement one, where I played against an APM mage who basically had no way to clear the 8/8. So they basically just used all their spells for +2 more mana, and I just started completing a whole bunch of achievements. It was amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, but been a great week. On that, Hearthstone's felt not horrible in all of the game modes. Happy for the Stealer nerf, because I was not going to play Wild when that combo deck was rampant, because it just seemed like if I was trying to force Demon Hunter, it would probably just fail to that.
Yeah.
But I did play a game of it, though. I went and I queued it once. I just wanted to try it one time.
No shame.
I'm sorry that I am a part of the problem to one game of a degree. But when I heard the card was getting banned, I was like, I got to play it at least once and do the combo before it's banned forever, just to experience the deck.
Did you do the combo?
I did it.
Excellent.
First turn, turn 5. I won the game, and then I never played it again.
Nice.
Yeah,
Perfect
it's not
win rate,
that hard.
100%.
I figured it out.
Right.
First game did it. Broken. Right?
This is probably too good, guys.
If you do it first try. Awesome. Well, as for me, things around here in the Vancouver area have been, getting a lot better COVID-wise and stuff as well. And where I've actually noticed it the most, because other than going to work, I just usually come home and I spend time with my family. I play games and whatnot. I notice it the most on the road now when I'm driving, because what used to be like a 15-minute drive, like super close to work, like it's already almost half an hour. Like just because of the extra amount of cars on the road. Like it's actually doubled.
Wow.
Which is, and I've gotten so used to it being that 15-minute drive that now I'm sitting there going like, come on, the podcast is starting soon. Move, people. I gotta get home. First world
Just white
problems.
knuckling it.
Yeah,
So,
dude,
well-
I feel. I thought I was gonna miss the show today. So yes,
Yeah.
I feel you there. With the world opening back up, like this is kind of ruining everything.
I know. We're supposed to go see my wife's side of the family, and it like on the weekend coming up, and we haven't gone anywhere or like done anything with actual people in forever. So the fact that we're actually going to go hang out at another house because it's allowed is just so strange. And we're like, are we sure we should go? We can do it. We could go. We've become as if we weren't introverted enough before,
Right.
like with restrictions and whatnot. It's just like it actually suited us because it's like, oh, well, now we've got an excuse not to go out. We're not allowed to. So life's going pretty good that ways. Work has been pretty fine. As for Hearthstone, I hopped in on your 30 more wins to 1,000 stream there, Nate.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it was because it wasn't just get 30 more wins. There was a bunch of high legend players, and it was really neat just to see. It was playing a more simple deck. You were playing a lot of Murloc Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
And like the not arguments, but the discussions we had over the simplest thing of like which minion do we tox fit?
Right? Oh yeah. No,
Like
Yeah.
we're like, no, put it on the big one. No, put it on the 1/1. No, put it on the 2/3. It was really, really neat to hear everyone's opinion on that.
We could argue about the silliest things, and there's definitely some big brain plays going on there. I'm really trying to learn from people who are better than me. So I think that, that's kind of what I was going for. And honestly, like laddering with friends sometimes is more fun than doing it solo. Like,
Totally.
It's just fun to hang out with people. And even if you lose, like, okay, I can rage with friends.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing, because I don't end up raging. So I actually, for the first time in a long time, I queued up a stream. I streamed on Sunday afternoon, and I haven't done. The last time I streamed Hades, and Sheep was watching me. That's the last time, Sheep, that I actually streamed.
Oh, and I
And-
missed it last Sunday. No.
And it's okay. I've got a lot of kinks to work out. So I've got an ultra wide monitor now, and it messed everything up. Like I love it, but like I need to figure out like how to actually capture the screen better, because everything was offset, because like OBS was picking up one side of it and everything was shifted because it's not set to the proper resolution.
we can
So
fix it. We can fix it. No problem.
Yeah, I got to figure it out, but it was fun. Blue Train hopped on. We were just jumping. I know you're not supposed to do this when you're trying to climb, but we were jumping from different deck to deck over and over. But in general, I just grabbed my Pirate Warrior from 2 months ago, and I just was playing a bunch of that, jamming it, and did do pretty okay with it. And yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I played the Guff thing too. We can talk about that later. But no, I had a lot of fun, and it made me want to do streaming a little bit more. I haven't done it in so long, but it's just so much fun to do the co-ops. Even if you're not streaming, co-op is just like, it's a blast.
Yeah.
Because as you were saying, when you're losing with friends, it's not so bad, right? Because like it really isn't, because like you can understand that it wasn't maybe just you, like you lost to, like, you had a bad hand, or you guys discussed all these turns, what's the best thing to do, and you don't rage because you're just having fun with your friends. So I think
it's always fun to blame, like, no, that's a bad play, no, and then they talk you into it, and then you do it and you get punished. Like, I told you it was a bad play. Like,
that's like playing with Ben.
It was playing with Ben, actually. Yes, but it's fun. I love Ben. I
love Ben too.
He's good people.
He's good people. He always wants to do the most aggressive possible thing. You can have 20 cards in your deck, and he's like, but if we draw this one card, we win.
I'm like, yeah, but I've got 3 health left. He's like, it doesn't. He's like, you play it or no balls. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyways, well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's basically been my week. I'm still hovering in the D5 to Legend spot on NA. Since I've gotten to level 100 on all 3 servers, I've basically been rotating, grinding gold on each server.
Nice.
Is kind of what I'm doing to get as much gold for cards on Asia and EU, which is going pretty good. I'd spent the what is it, 1,800 or 2,000 to get the expansion on both, so that kind of hurts a bit, but I mean, can't complain to get all the cards. So yeah, just grinding out all my gold for the next coming expansion and working on the legend climb on NA currently. So let's move over to the listener series. Sheep, what do we have going on in the listener series?
Yeah, so we are currently in week 7 of season 2. So we are in the quarterfinals. Top 8. Let's go. No, sorry, we are in the semifinals.
Yeah, we're in top 4.
4. Yeah. So we have got Maxibon versus Martian Boo. That match is actually happening after the stream tonight.
Yeah.
If you're watching live, stay tuned, because we are going to be casting that match. It's going to be a blast. Kenray and Corbett has already happened, and Corbett has taken that match. So the winner of Maxi and Martian will face off against Corbett in the finals.
Yeah, it's super rad.
It's amazing. I'm cannot
This is
wait.
so cool. I'm just saying, this is incredible. That's all.
Yeah. Have you seen any of our listener series stuff up until this point, Draco?
I dug into it a little bit today before the podcast and thought it was pretty exciting. So
Yeah, it's so much fun. So every week we have a different challenge, right? So this week's challenge for the semifinals is called Same Same. So what does that really mean, right? Each deck must have the same number of minions, spells, weapons, and or heroes in each deck. So like if I've got a deck with 27 minions, 1 spell, 1 weapon, and 1 hero card, cool. All of my decks have to have 27 minions, 1 spell, 1 weapon, and 1 hero card.
that's really challenging. Like,
Right?
super cool.
So we did have 2 bans for this one, because we're like, you can probably cheese out a win and be able to be pretty consistent with these 2. One of those bans, of course, was Stealer of Souls. This was before it was banned on a global level for Wild.
Right.
And of course, the other one is the most OP card in the history of Hearthstone. Our buddy, the River Crocolisk. Cannot play River Croc in your decks this week.
This is just a really bad inside joke, but it grew into OP. And then we started looking at the new one with the Frenzy. It was like, well, can you play that one? You don't want to, trust me. But
Nate and I were just going back and forth about what our band should be, and we're like, what's the most OP card? And I think Nate was like, River Croc is the most OP card. I'm like, we're banning it.
I will say it caused a lot of confusion in the Discord. Like, it's like, wait, are you guys joking? Are you serious? Wait, why?
Yes.
Like, is there something there that we missed? Like, is there
Just
some
interaction that we don't know about?
Shh.
Pandemonium.
Yeah. So we've got tonight is the last match in top 4, and then next week will be the finals, like top 2. So it'll be Corbett versus either Maxibon or Martian Boo. So that'll be pretty crazy, and they're all like incredible players. So it's really fun. And just the idea of like forcing people to play outside of their comfort zone and build kind of some wacky decks, play a little bit suboptimally, has been a lot of fun. And so, yeah, looking forward to that. It should be fun.
Yeah, very much the same here. And like I said, if you're watching live, we will be casting that afterwards. If you're listening to this or watching this after the fact, Nate will already have edited it and put it on YouTube.
Yep.
So check it out there.
Nice.
So that is it for the listener series this week. Hydra,
Very cool.
tell us about some Hearthstone news this past week.
Well, as we touched on earlier, we have a new chapter of the Book of Mercenaries out. So the one and only, the one that we've all been waiting for this whole time, Guff, is out. And I already know that you want to talk about this, Sheep. Guff is absolutely hilarious. He's just a very kind, dear soul. You've played this, right? How did you enjoy this so far?
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with it. Most of them were pretty easy. I actually had a decent amount of trouble. So I played it after they wrenched up the difficulty. But because they apparently day one, it was just all super easy. The Party of Adventurers had me kind of like have a little bit of a speed bump. Like that took like 6-7 tries before I finally got it. But other than that, it was pretty smooth sailing. It was just chill hanging out with Guff.
Yeah. No, he's just so funny. Right from the get-go, he says something like right when you click on him before you even start, he's like, push that button on the bottom. But be careful. Last time I pushed it, I broke it.
I was waiting for one of you guys to do your impression of Guff. It was so great. When you get to the final boss and he goes, "Oh, cool. It's another druid. I'm a druid too. We could be friends." And the druid's like, "I'm going to poison you and murder you." And he's like, "That's not very nice." It's like, it's just...
One of the spells in the party, adventure party, whatever one, that I played a lot is called the Power of Love. And it's like a 2-mana, like you use one of the opponent's minions for that turn, and then they get it back. But it's just the Power of Love. It's just so Guff.
It's great. I don't even, Draco, did you play through these? Do you play the solo stuff?
I haven't done Goff yet. I don't know. I don't do them all. I definitely should, but I am honestly getting very convinced the more you guys keep doing his voice.
He's so funny. Like, of all the ones,
have to do that now.
I will say I have been enjoying the Book of Mercenary stuff a lot better than the Book of Heroes. Like, it's hard to try to jam like existing lore, I think, into like one-off PvE Hearthstone matches, where with the Book of Heroes, like, they're creating their own lore as they go along, and they're able to tell the stories a little bit differently. And that's been a lot of fun, because you're not typically playing with just one character. It's like all of the mercenaries like crammed into one, even though you're kind of maining one. So
yeah, they all kind of interplay throughout, and in a really cool like story driven way too. Like they're doing a really really good job of telling that story, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so apparently, like I've been working a lot this week, and so apparently when this was released, I think it was Wednesday morning. Like I guess it was easy, and then Matt London tweeted later, responding to player feedback, we ratcheted up the difficulty, and he's so asking now, like, is it too easy? Is it too hard? And like, oh my god, I was raging pretty hard as I was going through. Like, how can they can fill up the entire board every time, and everything has poison? And like they put these bad cards in my deck. Like, how dare they? I mean, I beat it, so there's that.
Yeah.
But like, it was. I mean, I don't think it was hard. Like original, like heroic Naxxramas was hard. But it was definitely more difficult than the last two. And honestly, maybe that's better because, like, I spent an hour on it instead of 10 minutes, so that's good, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I was confused because there were some bosses that I beat before, like they even maybe got to do their cool thing. Like I just maybe drew the nuts and they were done. And then I think it was only on like the second or third boss where I played that one for like half an hour easy, just like over and over and over again. And I just like couldn't beat him. Like, I'm on number 2 and I can't beat number 2. And then after that, I just like sailed through 3 more and it was fine, and then stuck again. And it was interesting to me because some I just totally flew past. So
yeah, for I think particularly the Book of Mercenaries, I think that they probably should be a little bit more on the easy side because it's more about like them telling the story, right? Especially whenever it's something that doesn't have like the established lore, like the Book of Heroes, where it's like, well, if you really want to know what happens, you can read the comics or play WoW or like a whole bunch of stuff like that. So I think that I like that by and large they've been pretty easy because while like I have a good handle on the game and can, typically sail through them, I know that there are people who have less handle on the game and shouldn't necessarily be get kept for the like story itself. And of course, that sweet pack that you get for beating the solo adventure.
that sweet pack. Yeah,
we need to like data mine all the Guff voices now.
Oh yes,
it's been Dame Hazelbark has been like the unofficial mascot, I think, but Guff is pretty good. So
Dame Hazelbark is my favorite.
yeah.
Oh wow, dearie. All right. Well, next up we have Madame Lazul. The hero is back in the store. If you want to give that a purchase, that's totally up to you. But if you missed out the first time, it's a good opportunity because it was previously available in a mega bundle. And so now it comes to you at a discount. So if you missed out the first time, you can totally grab it. I do have Madame Lazul, but I don't actually use Madame Lazul. Do you guys use her at all?
Yeah, she's actually my favorite priest portrait to use.
Oh,
Nice,
okay.
nice.
Yep. So that's it for stuff that's in the shop, but we do have a new patch that came out. So patch 20.4.2 came out this week. Stealer of Souls was officially straight up banned. It is now banned from Wild. Sort of. So it was banned, but we were seeing some issues where people were still running into this card. At first, I thought only it was possible in casual, but we were seeing it also on the Legend ladder.
Oh yeah.
People were still running into this card. There's different ways of doing it. I saw you were able to build it in your deck being standard and then convert it to wild, and you were able to do it multiple different ways, but it wasn't taken care of properly. Hopefully everything... Has anyone seen it today? Because I knew as of yesterday it was still being seen.
I have not, but I saw Slizzle posting on Twitter, and I saw a couple of posts in our Discord, and so I don't know if it's like gone or not. It can't leave soon enough. I mean, for me, like it was pretty unfun. Although
I saw it this morning.
Oh, did you?
You saw it this morning.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't seen as much of it as I did before the ban, but
It just must be a lot more difficult to pull off, I suppose.
I mean, I didn't mind seeing it early on because it warped
not
the
pull
meta,
off the combo,
right?
pull off getting it in your deck.
right.
Yeah, no, but like when the deck was running rampant, it was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna play super aggressive, and the Murloc Shaman worked, like Kingsbane Rogue or Pirate Warrior or something like, and you can outrace them. No problem. It was when we all thought it was going to be gone, and it's like, oh, the meta should have shifted. I can switch back to something a little bit slower, and then you run into it, and like, wait a minute, what? Wait, what happened? And I know I think there was also when the like the cell phone or the mobile updates come out after the PC update. Mm-hmm. You could still play it on your cell phone and jam it that way, but I think there's some other workarounds as well. And so I don't know. I mean, I imagine that they will be gone shortly if it's not gone already, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're aware of it and they're working on it, so it'll get there, but I'm looking forward to it happening sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I would ever queue into it, which was quite a bit at first, it was kind of neat to see it go off, the first few times. And then every like third game was a Warlock, and then they were pulling it off way more than you thought. And yeah, it got old kind of quick. So
the earliest I saw it was turn 3, which is insane. Like just absolutely insane.
Demonic studies. Yep.
Too much. But hopefully it will be completely eradicated soon. Next, so we have this thing in Hearthstone called Nosdormu Day. It's been around for a couple months, and so on the 15th of the month, they encourage you to put in the new Nosdormu into your deck, and nobody does it. The idea is you both put it in your deck, and you can play some speed Hearthstone, but it doesn't seem to happen. And even a good friend of ours, Wildcard, said that he had been running Nosdormu in his deck in a Dragon Rogue deck for, I think he said like 2 months straight, like play like both like the whole time, not even on Nosdormu Day, just playing this card, hoping, and it took him 2 full months till he actually queued into somebody else that was running it, and he got to play the Speed Stone. Yeah.
Draco, do you participate in this at all?
No, but I for some coincidental reason, I got thank you, Dexter, for the Dexter raids on Nosdormu Day the last 2 months in a row. And his chat is very into Nosdormu being in my deck. And I always get into a conversation with them where I'm like, look, we're playing High Legend Demon Hunter against other people that are playing like Priest that are trying to kill me as good as they can. Like, this deck is significantly worse in my deck than any other deck because I run Skull of Gul'dan. And if I draw the 7 mana card before the 6 mana card, I could lose the game. So it's so much of a
chat's like,
bad
we don't
card.
care. We play it anyways.
Yeah. I'm like,
your
oh my
memes be
gosh, guys, no,
dreams."
I'm not gonna just make myself lose more right now just for the memes. Like,
So
because
hold on. What I'm hearing is you need an alt account.
I do play on other servers, and I mean, yeah, I guess I would do that. Yeah. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'll just switch to like EU or something and then put Nas in my deck. Maybe that's the actual fix.
There you go.
then you can do it and not tank your rank.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's definitely the fix. I mean, I do like what they said about it, and I'm sure you're gonna get to that with the news. But yeah, I would like a game mode where everyone has it in their deck, and I get to play like that. But I don't like being the token like streamer guy playing it in the specific deck that it's so bad in.
It's kind of like gambling. You're playing it's a 7-mana 8/8, right? Do nothing if the other person doesn't have it in their deck. So it's not exactly the greatest card.
I mean, you can play it in a pre-stack. You can play a slow game. Like there's entire turns where you can just like hero power. You could play it in like a control warrior deck because like you can just like not do much and float a whole bunch of mana in the turns. Or even like with rogue, where you can just kind of ignore it in your hand and do the other stuff going on. But when you care about outcast, playing a card that ruins that just makes it so much worse if it costs more than 6.
That makes sense.
It's a bigger punish than just being a dead card. It also keeps you from being able to get that skull to the outcast position on the left side of the skull or any other outcast card.
Until they release a card that rearranges your hand.
Oh.
Whoops. Mistakes were made.
Wasn't me!
Maybe. Do you guys have any ideas that would spike up? Like, what would incentivize you to actually do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, something, gold or a pack or I don't know, something. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they maybe made it like a quest that was basically had the same rewards as a weekly quest but that you could re-roll and just get something normal so that it's not punishing people who decide not to participate. And that's kind of the one solution that I can kind of see because you're actually incentivized to do it pretty heavily, and if you decide not to, well, you don't have to. That's kind of my personal solution, but they have more plugged in people than me working in their ranks, so I'm sure that they will have something good for us.
I'm worried that they're not going to incentivize it at all. Like, I think they're going to put something in client that says like, "Hey, it's Nozdormu Day," and like that's it. I think if they made it like Tavern Brawl, like, hey, you play your first Nozdormu game against someone else with Nozdormu, and like you get a pack for doing it, like, okay. And then there's going to be a handful
their hardcore approach. Like they say you can't play a game unless you have Nozdormu in your deck.
You can't play a game.
Everyone has to play Nozdormu mode or get out.
Oh god, I love it.
The Hearthstone making an
that
offer
would be
we
great.
can't refuse.
Your first game of ladder today has to include Nozdormu, or else you cannot play.
Everyone's in the entire game is playing Nozdormu. So the whole day, if you want to play Hearthstone, you want to climb, you got to play Bullet Hearthstone, and everyone else is playing Bullet Hearthstone. It'd be amazing.
That'd be kind of rad if they just forced it. Like, that'd be great. Oh my gosh.
I guess some people would have to take some time off that day.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play Bullet Hearthstone, then peace. But it's Nozdormu Day, so that's all we're doing.
Yeah. Like, we're not trying to not be inclusive. You can play tomorrow.
Jeez. I love it. They don't like that's the nuclear approach. That's so great. Like, you can't play. You have two choices. You don't play or you play Noz. That's it. Hey,
I hope they do that approach. Personally, I hope they take the nuclear route.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Well, that's all that we had for the news. It wasn't a large news week, so how about we jump into decks of the week and meta discussion?
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to, because we've got the Demon Hunter expert here, I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, Demon Hunter. And I did have a question about, like, what do you think about this class in general in Wild? As like a newer class, how does it stack up to the other stuff? And, like, what do you think it needs to, like, be competitive with the other meta decks? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Demon Hunter in Wild has certainly had its roller coaster of, win rates in the last year since it's existed. I think we can all agree on that. If you guys remember, 5-mana Warglaves and, like, as we talked about, like the 3-mana Altruist and, what was going on with Odd Demon Hunter kind of when it came into existence. That deck was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And that deck is actually like, you know, I'm sorry, Born to Be Wild audience, if any of this cringes you out. Odd Demon Hunter is what got me into Wild. In general, that's kind of what helped me bridge from being a standard player to an odd demon hunter or to a wild player in general.
You can totally play it, man. Like it's like it's not the best, but you can. I play it on Asia to climb. I'm not like I use it usually to get to D10 or D5 or something. Like you can run it.
Oh yeah, I mean so when I really got into it the first time, it was like because I wanted to have the 1K Demon Hunter portrait, like, you know, really, 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 really early on. And Odd Demon Hunter was way faster than playing standard Demon Hunter. So in like the early Demon Hunter meta and getting into it, I think I like peaked that month at rank 17 in Wild.
Ooh, nice. Wow.
It was really broken. I still don't understand, you know, all the card interactions that I need to. I played a stream with Bat Masil, where we played Wild Demon Hunter, I think like 2 or 3 months ago as well. And just like talking to the guy and like listening to okay, I need to actually like trade into this totem when I'm playing against an even shaman, because if they have the card that buffs their health, that will allow a value trade. Like I just didn't have that kind of foresight. So it's really opened my eyes to how many interactions in decks you kind of have to be aware of with Wild. And I think that's kind of what got me into it more. And well, not just Bat doing that. I really got into Wild Soul Demon Hunter for a long period of time too. And
Yeah, Hyperdonk.
Hyperdonk. Yeah, that was one of my favorite decks. Especially when Wild Soul Demon Hunter was at its best. It's still pretty fringe, where, you know, a lot of people wouldn't play it, or weren't used to playing against it. So you'd get to play. And the other deck that was super ridiculous on ladder, or at least was in 10x when I was trying to get back in the Soul Demon Hunter or in this time period, was the Wild Token Druid with the 1/3 things. So you'd just be like, Mystic, boop, concede. All right, next game. And that was like just so many games. You'd be like, Soul Jailer, Mystic, next game. Soul Jailer, Mystic, next game. It was just like, it was amazing. But yeah, I do miss that deck. That's another reason I was upset about all of the those specific Demon Hunter nerfs with the Mystic and the Blade Dance. Was that those nerfs were specifically also what made Soul Demon Hunter in the Wild format not really competitive anymore either, as well as standard. So that made me very sad, because that was like my favorite deck to ever be in the game in both formats. So I've been really enjoying the Barons expansion though, and all the cool things that people were able to do with Death Speaker Blackthorn.
Oh yeah,
it seems to be it seems to just be kind of the glue in making like all these crazy Reno packages work. And you can just kind of play. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of playing like Reno Mage, obviously, where you can run like the Zolas and like the Zais and copy the valuable cards in your hand and just kind of abuse whatever your opponent's weakness is. And that's very. I really much enjoy that kind of gameplay in Wild, where it's like you're rewarded for understanding your advantage against your opponent within your singular 30 cards. Yeah, so I've been really enjoying playing Reno Demon Hunter. Specifically, the one that I think feels the best is honestly Martians that he gave me the other day when I was on stream. I've been playing like a whole bunch of different Demon Hunter decks, and that is the only, like, I mean, I can change a card or two, but it's his list, and that one wins the most, and it feels the best for me in regards to just like not being Odd Demon Hunter, but being a different Demon Hunter deck that feels incredibly good. That would be the one I would say. And I also love the OTK one just for my own enjoyment right now.
Yeah. So Martian's list, and of course he's in chat here, which is awesome. Is it more like I struggled the first time I played it. I think I was misplaying it because it looks more control heavy. Like I wasn't expecting to, and I came up against it a couple of times. I was not expecting to see expendable performers, or Cycle of Hatred or some of these higher cost spells, and I'd run into them. I was like, what just happened? Like, what did I just lose to? And the deck seems fun. Like, how do you even play this? Like, this is different than normal Demon Hunter.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like any Reno deck, right? It's kind of hard to like even like okay. So when I learned how to play Raza Priest, I didn't realize that there was like this guide that was like 5 pages long that explained every different matchup and the important cards and the not important cards and the important interactions. But this deck is kind of like that, where you could write like a book. Like these cards are not good in this matchup. These ones are. You want to look for these because your win condition against this matchup is this. Like the other day when I was playing it, I lost games when I didn't choose like a specific discovered card or like specifically count up the amount of damage that my opponent could have with burst, while deciding not to use an I-beam or like a fell screen blast or something. So all of the losses that I have with that deck typically feel like they are my mistakes, and I like that. Even though that sounds like it's tilting, I like to realize how I can play differently to win more. And I definitely think with like a Reno deck like that, you can use I don't know, like clever decision making to win way more than you should.
That's a really good attitude to have, where you can see the mistake, or maybe it's not necessarily a mistake. You didn't know what they were going to have, but where you can improve on and be able to analyze that matchup. Like you said, learning the different wild matchups, right? Like I should have used the I-beam there. I was trying to save it, but okay, I know next time, right?
Well, and there's a lot of utility as well, and I think that's kind of the beauty of Reno decks is like each game is different. Like I'm going to play this matchup different depending on what I'm playing against. Am I going to be the aggressor or am I going to be the defender? Am I going to try to pop off? And then there's some crazy things you can do if the matchup is slow. I mean, having Brand in the deck enables some crazy things. Having Zola in the deck, like, cool. I can Brand Zola something. I've got N'Zoth in here to bring back stuff. There's all kinds of things that you can do like this, and I don't know.
Maybe I just need to play Brand sometimes, right?
Hey, yeah, you can tempo Brand. That's not bad. But
I thought this was a Demon Hunter. I know, different Brand.
That's great.
Brand allows some lethals that just feel like really crazy. The other day I had a pretty dead hand when I was playing it, and I had Reno and Zai in my hand, and I just also happened to have Zephyrs all the way on the left. So I got to Zephyrs and Zai, they were the only 3 cards in my hand. So I got to make like a hand of, I think it was 7 or it was 5 Zephyrs.
Oh wow!
So, that was like the most incredible game I've had in a long time. I was like, this is really stupid.
People complained about like 3 ice blocks, 5 Zephyrs.
Yeah, things like that can happen with Brand, and if you can just wait for those opportunities.
That's awesome. So Sheep, I saw you had a Demon Hunter card here. Oh my god, a bird just flew into my window.
No way.
Like just legit bounced off the window. It's okay. It's sitting in the tree. I guess it's okay. That was something. Sorry. It's like
I thought it flew into your
oh no, it's just
for a bit. I thought you had a new pet.
I have a window like right there and the bird just like bounced off of it. Wow. Yeah, it kind of sounded like that. Sorry. Yeah. So Sheep, what do you got here? An odd version, odd Demon Hunter?
Yeah, so it's a pretty standard odd Demon Hunter. I knew the Draco was coming on tonight, so I wanted to, do my homework and just see what odd Demon Hunter was doing, and it feels pretty strong. Honestly, if you run into the Stealer Lock, you can still just get them. You've got the mana burns to disrupt that combo. And then, of course, it's good against non-Stealer as well, but especially against Stealer, feels really great. Other than that, it's a pretty standard odd Demon Hunter. A lot of 1-drops, Arcane Golem. The only non-1-drops are Arcane Golem, Dreadlord's Bite, Stilt Stepper, Leroy, and of course, Baku.
Yeah.
So you just get them.
Nice. Do you ever Arcane Golem always feels weird to me playing because I like having the burst, but like giving your opponent mana can burn you so hard sometimes.
I feel the exact same way as you, Nate, and I played this deck with the Arcane Golems with that, and I learned how to like negate that, and you just hold them the entire time until like it effectively gives you a 2-turn timer, or you get lethal with it.
Makes
because
sense.
you just don't play them just for tempo.
The only times that I would play them essentially for tempo is whenever I draw them with the Stilt Stepper. And thus I'm getting even more than just the 4 damage because I'm getting 8 with the Stilt Stepper effect as well. But yeah, completely agreed. They're finishers.
Okay.
Yep. Use them with like a lot of restraint. Yeah, the one thing that always makes me laugh about playing this deck is Stilt Stepper into Leroy. It happens to me like all the freaking time. And it's just so sad. It's like every time I get a Stilt Stepper, I'm like, all right, we can hit a 1-mana card or a 3. So the likelihood that we hit this, it's over 70%, guys. Let's go. Leroy. What? Every time. Like,
I think the entire time that I've played Odd Demon Hunter, only one time have I hit Baku. And that felt terrible, don't get me wrong. But it happens with Leroy a lot.
yes.
But yeah.
Yes,
Other than that, it's a pretty standard list. It's a fun aggro deck.
That is the nature of Leroy, to be rushing in when you don't want him to.
At least he had chicken.
Yeah. right on brand. Can't complain, I guess.
But
Yeah,
anyone
so-
who does want to hit Wild Legend with Demon Hunter, it's super doable. Yeah, like I've done it with really fringy stuff just with an try hard attitude of just pushing through it. It's always possible. So you don't have to play the best stack with Demon Hunter to get through there. You can do the fun stuff as well. You just kind of have to think, unfortunately.
Speaking
Consume
of fun-
Magic is a good card, by the way.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah,
Speaking
sorry.
of fun stuff. Nate brought another Demon Hunter deck, and that one is some fun stuff.
Yeah, so this is fun. I've been playing this. I got this from Twitter. The person's name is Otaika2828. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But it's essentially like a Death Rattle Demon Hunter, but with like a couple of big demons on the top end. And so it's it's interesting. The funny thing is it's not even running Blackthorn. But it
runs Double Glide. That is super weird.
Well,
That is spicy.
it's so the lists from the Asian server are always kind of spicy hot takes because I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. Like when right now, there's probably I don't know, by the end of the month in Wild Legend, there's probably about 3,000 to 4,000 maybe. Like in NA, it's relatively low, I think. And you go over to like the China server and there's like 40,000. Like it's absurd.
They have more wild legends than they do standard legends. Like
super
it's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so, I follow all these different people on Twitter and pull lists all the time. And I saw this and I was like, that is kind of spicy. I think for me personally, I would tweak it a little bit. I have I love Undertaker in this. I had the whole deck in gold except Undertaker, so I felt like I had to craft it. But Undertaker is fun. I like it with the Death Rattle package. I've been playing a ton of Death Rattle Demon Hunter in Standard, just trying to push for, push to 500 and then push to 1K. I'm a little over 400 now. And so it's running some of the standard stuff, the Razor Boar, the Cultist, the new Ectoplasm, the Beastmaster. And so that stuff makes a lot of sense. The Albatross, a lot of people will use in Wild to disrupt the Reno decks, which kind of makes sense to me. Sneaky Delinquent, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. I saw, like, Draco, I think you play it in your standard list, right? I think a lot of people do.
It depends on my mood. Yeah, it's so the only time that Sneaky feels like super clutch, and it feels kind of better in this deck, because if you get like Undertaker Sneaky, it's like a really nice start. So you kind of want to have that 1-2 curve. It's like the whole concept with, I guess, this guy's build is that if you're gonna play Undertaker, you got to have consistency in the 2-drop. So I definitely understand the inclusion in this specific list that is running both Tusk Piercer and Undertaker that synergize the early game to being very powerful with it. But I would say as a card in general, Sneaky Delinquent is much better than people typically play with it, because most of the time people that play with Sneaky Delinquent at a normal or a more typical Hearthstone level, they will trade with it on like the following turn, or they will just start using it for chip damage, knowing they're going to get the other body back in their hand. Like they'll start taking the damage when they can. But the intelligent ways to use Sneaky Delinquent are for anticipating the minions that your opponent are going to play, to use it so that it can test it accurately to prevent them from playing minions. That's like the whole point of it. It's like, I know you're going to play a minion that's got 5 health next turn. I have a Razor Boar out and a Sneaky Delinquent. So you don't want to do that, because it's just going to die and I'm going to start cycling minions. You know what I mean? Like it's all about the counterplay aspect versus the tempo of it. You know what I mean?
That's I like that.
A lot of sense with the 1 health in particular. I like that a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this list is interesting. I think I would switch it up a little bit. I'd love to hear your take on that Darkspear Berserker also. Like 4 mana, 5 attack is great. The downside kind of sucks when there's, it's easy to remove. But if you're really going aggressive, it can do well.
It's a good card, I think. That 4 mana minion, especially when the whole objective of this deck is to just like vom stats, right? Like it fits that criteria. I honestly, after playing this deck for around like 50 games, I would say the card to me that felt the worst out of it was Glide. I'm gonna eventually try and shift into making it a skull build, and I don't know if I love the early game package with the. I found myself going into like Pirate Warriors or playing against like Kingsbane Rogues or something like that, not drawing my taunts or my early Death Rattle package and drawing the end game stuff, and then the Glide ends up just helping my opponent win the game after they dump their hand. So I was just like sitting there like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Glide is an interesting inclusion for me, because like Glide is not usually like, I never really play it.
I don't run that in Odd Demon Hunter.
I always tell people
you should.
It always wins the game for someone.
That's
For somebody.
That's a true statement. The interesting thing where Glide I think is interesting is depending on the meta. Like if you're seeing a lot of combo, like you can disrupt your opponent's hand. Like I'm playing against a priest and they've got 9 cards in their hand or whatever. Like cool, I can play Glide and like ruin their day. But it can also mess you up pretty bad. And so is it worth it? I don't know.
You know what the best time to play Glide is? The most satisfying moment to play Glide in the whole game? Like what do you think of? Like when is the most satisfying moment to do that?
When you're top decking, right?
Well, top decking is great too, but if you and your opponent are both fatigued and you have no cards left, and then they have less health than you, and then you find a Glide off of like Illidari studies or something, and then the added damage of the fatigue of them drawing the 4 cards kills them, but not you. That is the chef's kiss glide. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, you die if I play glide, but I don't. So
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I never even considered that. I love it. That's awesome.
Great fatigue card. Got it.
I found myself wanting to play Broom in this list because, like, I dropped this Fell Summoner and then no one would touch it, right? Or it could get silenced or something like that because the health is so low. I don't know. I love
Broom and Crescent are similar, right?
That's true. That is very true. Yeah, they're synonymous. I love Taint Heart Tormentor. That card is just rad.
It's so cool.
I mean, the taunt with a it's almost like a, I don't know, like a permanent Lotheb Jr. effect. Like, hey,
it makes people do the wait what? Like you see people like hover over the card and they like look at their cards in their hand and they hover over the card again.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Well, especially in Wild, I think where mana cheat is so important, where there's so many things that cost 0 and this ruins that. Makes it really fun to me. I don't know, like I've seen people try to get into this like big Demon Hunter decks, and I've seen a couple people come close. Our friend Wildcard has been trying it for a long time. I don't know. I think it still needs a little bit more support. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with like Void Caller or something. Like if we had a Void Caller for Demon Hunter, then it would be probably perfect. I mean, there's a couple
like a Shadow Essence, right? Like
something,
just some way to
Yeah.
reliably tutor the big minions out early. Other than the 6 mana 8/3 Death Rattle, because that's not quick enough for Wild. Where like you can Barnes and E-Charge, or like you can like the things you were just saying. You can cheat so much big things out. Like, how do you compete with Res Priest? Like, they can do what we're doing way better.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and like I was really surprised not to see Raging Fell Screamer in this list too. Like my low end is like from 1 to 4, and most of it's like 1 to 3, and then I've got 6, 8, 9, and a lot of times I would play this deck and these giant demons are just sitting in my hand doing nothing, and so it was a little disappointing. And so at least in standard, like I'm running the Fell Screamer so I can reduce the cost and play him earlier. I don't know. I will say that Illidari Inquisitor is probably my favorite card in the game right now, and it is the only legendary that you can run 2 copies of in your deck. So there's that.
better hope Demon Hunter doesn't get too good.
Right.
That's what everyone's going to cry about. It's going to get nerfed.
That card is nutty. It's so great. I've gotten lethal with it so many times. It's just, it's like, I don't know. Okay. I'm sure you've experienced this way more than me, but one of my favorite things is like you drop the Inquisitor and then your opponent like freezes it and then you attack face and it
it's so brutal.
It punches face anyways, and then your opponent like hovers over it like, what just happened? I froze it. Like, oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. That annoys me. It actually really does.
Did you ever have 2 in your hand that were reduced from Skull and a weapon equipped?
Oh boy.
You ever have that?
Oh man, when you can hit for
And both at the same time.
It's crazy. You just, just the ability to like clear the board and attack face in the same turn is beautiful. Having 2 is like the dream. That's the chef's kiss. Attack face with for 1 and then hit for 16. Like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, they're definitely ridiculous. I wonder if we would run them if they're 7/7, but that would be such a big nerf. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sometimes I think about that.
Yeah, don't give anybody any ideas.
Make it an 8/7.
Hey, whatever.
There you go.
That's fine. Everything else is not.
Have you tried like, what is your take on like the big demon hunter or big demons demon hunter?
I think it's one of the archetypes that it's a little bit more forced than others. I mean, so is Death Rattle though. That just seemed so like no one asked for this. Like, what are you know? I mean, at least the cards don't say draw a card, gain attack. Yeah, but so like I'm glad they're giving Demon Hunter something to do that isn't draw a card, gain attack. But the big Demon Hunter stuff, I would really like it to work. I think that they're just very concerned about printing cards that do things that made people hate, like resurrect priests and stuff like that in another class. Like, you know, they can't print a card that's like bring a demon back that died. You know, like or you know, summon a copy of a demon that died earlier in the game, or summon a random demon in your hand for like 4 mana. Like that's the kind of stuff that they would need to do or need to print to make that class like the really competitive one, like a super reliable, consistent way to cheat out the big demons. And like you can print like, you know, 30 cool demons that cost, you know, 7 to 10 mana that all have really awesome art, super cool effects. They have great sound effects. But in reality, if you have to wait till 7 to 10 to play these cards, it's just not really going to, it's just not going to be good enough, because Demon Hunter cares about Outcast. Like the whole concept of big Demon Hunter with the way they designed the class effect of Outcast is kind of counterintuitive. So Demon Hunter and the big Demon Hunter concept would need to be like super broken, really powerful to work.
A way to do it is like Priest doesn't need Outcast to do its crazy things. Maybe they could let Demon Hunter do something crazy if it was Outcast, like bringing, like, obviously we got, you know, Skull and stuff like that, but to actually cheat out the things, like you can only cheat it out if this card is out, like on the left or right.
Like an 8 mana card that says summon a random demon in your hand, Outcast, this costs 4.
Yeah, something like that.
Or maybe even something that's like you know, summon an Outcast demon from your hand, or summon any Outcast demons from your hand, so you could get 2 of them.
That's even more clever. I love that, because that works
premium
against the other anti-synergy of the deck of them like getting stuck in your hand.
Right.
Yeah, just make it more difficult. Like, we don't want to make it broken, but we can make it broken if you happen to get them Outcast. Right? So it just makes it more difficult.
And still plays into the class identity of like outcasting things, even though you're not paying for it to outcast it. Having it summon both would probably be too broken. It'd probably have to be, you know, an outcast demon. But let's be real, having it too would be.
Yeah, I
really
often
fun.
wondered too, like if Big Demon Hunter was super good, would people like playing against that? Because I don't think so. I feel like that would be more annoying than the other Demon Hunter decks that people have already hated. You know, like
Yeah. Well, and
like, do you want to see people cheat out 8/8 taunts that make your spells cost more? Because that sounds like a pretty bad feeling.
it's no. It's okay when I do it, but it's not okay when anyone else does it. That's how we roll. I think that they're confused with the Demon Hunter class identity in general, because it was like, oh yeah, here's Outcast, and here's weapons and attacking face every turn. We want it to be super aggressive. And here's Lifesteal, and here's Death Rattle, and here's all these big minions also. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like what they did with Shaman for a while. Like, all right, here's Overload, here's some freeze stuff, here's some Murlocs. Like, I just don't know what they're doing. It's like, what's the game plan here?
I do like the card, what's it called? Like the hand disruption flavor stuff that they do for Demon Hunter. Like all the really like mean, like shuffle your opponent's cards, and the spells cost more. And like I do love, and like mana burns and that stuff.
Mana
like,
burn.
I really would like to see more cards in like that nature for Demon Hunter. Like really like competitive hand disruption cards, like outside of just like mana burn, you know. like a 1 mana shuffle a random card in your opponent's hand. Things like just random things like that. I feel like would be pretty fun. Or like Outcast Shuffle 2, so you can like just like I don't know, things like that. I would feel would be really exciting for the class, where it turns more into like a black deck in Magic versus it being like so lost and confused like it is now. I would like the whole game plan to be to screw up what your opponent's doing. That would be fun. I hope they do that.
And we've seen
That's my dream.
a few kind of elements of that, like you said, with Mana Burn and a Star Student Stelina. Like there are a lot of those things, but it hasn't been as consistent within like a one specific expansion. So I think I would like to see kind of a critical mass and more support for that disruption, because that I think would be a lot more fun of a way to like incorporate that into the class identity. Like that would be cool.
I'd like to see a random card a card that makes a random card in your opponent's or cards in your opponent's hand cost more. Kind of like the what was it? The watch post. The watch post. You know, like it makes everything they draw cost more.
Right.
Like imagine they have like a 1 mana card that's like or a 2 mana card that says a random card in your opponent's hand now costs 3 more, or like Outcast that costs 5 or something ridiculous like that. So like you could just kind of eventually just make your opponent unable to play their hand.
Like a rebuke sort of thing?
Yeah, but a permanent one.
Permanent one.
Yeah.
But only like isolated to one card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you hit their like their Reno and make it cost 11.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I remember like when that happens, it's, what is it? Freezing Trap from Hunter that makes something cost 2 more. And, you run your 10 drop, like you're playing N'Zoth or some giant or something, and, attack with it. And then it's sitting back in your hand at 12. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I can't play this anymore. Unless you cheat it out or something like, maybe like if we had Skull of Gul'dan, or excuse me, Skull of the Minari, but for Demon Hunter, something like that. That'd be fun. But
indeed,
I don't know. I love these ideas. Have you considered applying to the dev team?
Oh man, I've talked about it with the fiance, and we've decided it really wouldn't be that great of a. Like honestly, it would be amazing to get to work on a game that I love. But I have an amazing job and I have an amazing hobby. I don't really want to change that, but you know what I mean. But yeah.
Oh no, I mean, I'm mostly joking.
Freelance work on the side. Then.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I work in like IT stuff and like coding and stuff to a degree, so it's kind of in a similar ballpark. That if it was like something we were really passionate about, that we could be like, let's make this happen. Let's go for this. But I definitely don't really. Yeah, I know you're joking. Sorry. Continue.
I feel you. No. I mean, I've thought about it. Like they've been hiring a lot lately. I see these positions open up like on Twitter, and then you think about like, that'd be kind of cool. What about? I'm like, no, I have a good job and I make good money. Like I can't even imagine like taking a massive pay cut and having to move to a different state. And like it'd be awesome to work on this game that I love, but like it would force so many changes that would really ultimately not be good.
California is not the cheapest either, right?
Oh, dude.
No.
My parents. Yeah, no, my parents live there. My brother lives there. I used to live there. My parents live about 10 minutes away from the Blizzard campus. Like I've driven by it a bunch of times because like they live right down the street from it, and it's really expensive to live there. I mean, like super expensive. And that's the generational thing, right? Where my parents now, like we looked at the house, like their house now is worth $1 million or whatever. And they're asking me like, oh, why don't you buy a house? I'm like, well, cause you bought the house for dirt cheap and now it's worth $1 bazillion. And if I want to go buy a house, it just costs $1 bazillion. Like I don't get to buy it for cheap like you guys. It's a different world for sure. California's super expensive, especially in Orange County. Oh my god, so
it's not a buyer's market.
No, not right now. And even here where I'm at in the Pacific Northwest, where it's a lot cheaper and we don't have sales tax, and it's still like pricey, and the housing market right now is bad, like just not good. It'll change eventually, but not right now. So
Vancouver is absolutely brutal. Like if you actually bought downtown Vancouver, these little tiny houses are like a couple $1 million.
We looked into that.
Like it's
honestly, this is so true. We were like, how expensive is it to move to Vancouver? We were like, oh my God, it's not doable.
no, it's so stupid. Yeah, I do not get it, but yeah, it's the most expensive place to live in Canada. It's silly.
We got invited to a wedding in Canada next year that's around that area from someone I met through Hearthstone.
Nice.
I don't want to say his name because I don't want to like put him out there, you know what I mean? But my fiance and I are like really looking forward to getting to go and see someone from the Hearthstone community's wedding and go to like Canada and see that area and stuff next year. So
nice.
Really
nice.
That's so exciting.
Cool. I'd like to hear all about it.
Will do.
Hydra, yeah, we always have to have a Canadian on this show. It's like it's the rule.
I can tell you which places to go when you're there.
We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch, friend.
Hydra, have you gone to Hearthstone Pizza yet? By the way,
no, only that one day when I found it and it wasn't open yet, and I was a little bummed out, and I keep forgetting. But yeah, there's a place called Hearthstone Pizza, like 10 minutes. Though Slizzle says that to avoid the ramen place next door because it gives you food poisoning, so don't go there. But I will go to the Hearthstone Pizza.
that's great.
Keep forgetting. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Remind me like on noon next Friday, and then I'll like pre-order and pick it up on my way home, and I can eat the Hearthstone Pizza and I can show you guys.
Oh, that'll be cool. Just don't go to the ramen place because it has life tap.
Oh my God. It's great. It's great. Oh man. So Hydra, I see your deck here. This is kind of a strange looking Demon Hunter deck.
Yeah. Magni's now a Demon Hunter.
Dude, I love Pirate Warrior. This deck is super fun.
It is
Yeah.
too.
So this isn't necessarily a super new list or anything. It's from when Barons first dropped, and Rokara is just awesome in the list. Like if you don't have Rokara, you do not need to run Rokara. But like
She is so fun though. Like
one of my favorite decisions to make is like sometimes you'll have a board full of pirates and you're sitting on 3 mana and you're trying to decide whether you should play Rokara or you should play your South Sea Captain, right? Because your South Sea Captain is going to give you the instant buff and you're going to get that damage right now. But I've personally found that Rokara is the move to make because you can attack, you don't get the damage necessarily right now, but you're going to, buff your guys. Now you can always drop that captain afterwards or later. So I love Rokara. She's super dope. This is one of the versions that really floods the board really, really quickly. You can just completely fill the board. That's why it runs Sky Captain Craig. Also not necessary whatsoever. If you've got Leroy, you can jam Leroy in. I run Leroy on Asia and EU in this deck because you don't need to have Craig, and most people won't have Craig. But if you have it, run it. It's totally awesome. Floods the board. You can overwhelm people really quickly. It's not exactly tier 1 right now. I feel like it's dropped off quite a bit. I played 73 games so far this season with this deck, and I'm only around like the 58% win rate with it.
That's
which
solid.
It's not bad. Like sometimes I beat myself up a little bit when I'm not just like storming ladder. Like you have those times where you're just rocking it with like a 70% win rate and you're just killing everybody. But No, it's definitely doing the job, and I'll probably just keep running it for the rest of the month, to be honest. It's something that I'm familiar with and I'm super comfortable with, and it's also all gold. So I like my shinies.
I love that you have a gold Skycap and Crag. Like that's just that's great.
It's
I know.
glorious.
That had to be done because it was one of those situations where the whole deck was gold shy of that and Rokara that weren't gold, so I just did it.
Dude,
This is my second wild deck I ever made.
Nice.
That was the non-Demon Hunter wild deck I made. Was a Pirate Warrior, and yes, I had like one of the biggest win streaks I ever had in my entire life of Hearthstone with this deck, and it was ridiculous. It was like 20 something games in a row. One time I climbed, playing Jam with Pirates, and I was like, "This is the nuts. This is amazing. Love it. Oh my gosh,
Nice.
It's fun, and it's not the way that it used to be because Wild has so many broken things in it now that it's not the way it was in Standard when everybody just absolutely hated it, and every time patches came out, you wanted to like throw your monitor out the window.
Give patches, charge again.
I think that would be okay with me, actually.
The only thing that it would be crazy in is like in Big in Druid would be kind of nuts. That's why you're saying it, eh?
Dude, I wish that Rokara was neutral. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine Rokara in Demon Hunter? Like, yes, please.
it would not be. That would be bad. I always think these things too. Like there's another card that I was like, man, I wish that was neutral. Oh, what was it? The Xanash, the thing that reduces the corrupt cards in your deck. And then I was like, dude, what if Druid had this? No, thank you. Like, come on. Like, that would be so bad if Druid can make all the corrupt cards cost like 2 less collectively through the whole game. We would just all lose.
That's true. That's true.
Rokara is just a really, really strong card.
Very powerful.
Absolutely. If you're looking for something to climb with, you could definitely climb with this deck for sure. It's like I said, it's not tier 1 right now, but it's solid and it completely does the job. And if you like to be like me and play Magni for the cool armor up effect that you almost never use, playing Pirate Warrior, do it.
There's this like unwritten rule, we were talking about it last night, that like you know, can you tip somebody off based on either your hero portrait or your card back? And so like way back in the day when there were so many less card backs, it's like, well, hey, if I play the Cthulhu card back, they're going to know I'm playing Cthulhu. Or if I play the pirate card back, like they know I'm playing pirates. And so there's these mind games, right? And like you're some kind of evil person if you play Magni in a pirate warrior, because like Magni's supposed to be odd warrior, right?
That's the total point.
It's
supposed to be odd warrior.
That's great.
Because Pirate Warrior, like when you started a game, at least back in the day with Pirate Warrior, and you got the greetings at the beginning, you like right at the beginning, you knew it was Pirate Warrior,
right?
Because they did it every time.
So
that, I mean, you can do that with a lot of classes, right? Like you use like a Murloc card back in a Shaman deck, and then suddenly you're playing like Evolve or like Control, and you're like, dude, why are you have like the tiny thin beach background? Like you just trolling me right now, man? Like, come on.
I love it. Well, I wonder if you could make your opponent mulligan incorrectly if they're they're guessing what you're playing, right?
I do that stuff to people too, though. Like you can, like I was even watching the GM, what's it called? Not the GM, the Master Tour today, and you can totally make people play bad just from like psyching people out with stupid stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that's like totally true. Like I often when I'm playing decks and I don't have 1-drop cards in my hand, and when I'm playing like Death Rattle Demon Hunter, when I'm in, this is a standard thing. It works more because OTK Demon Hunter is really popular in High Legend Standard. I'll like hold on to the one. I'll like hover over a card, keep acting like I'm gonna play it, just so my opponent don't think I'm OTK Demon Hunter, and that's like an Illidari studies that I'm considering whether or not I want to play it or not. But in reality, it's like I'm gonna just play Razor Board next turn. So you just like hover over a card and make it look like you're gonna play it, just to make them think like you're the wrong deck for like a couple turns. You know?
Hey, no, I mean, there's some value to that though.
Low-key, I do that, and then also just like the thing where you go over your whole hand a lot, like just to throw people off.
I try not to hover the card I want to play because it shows them that I have a play next turn. So I don't touch it.
This is what Killing All Day did. He pointed a what is the a prized plunderer at one of his like minions on the board for like a solid like 4 seconds, and then played the card to the next to it. So he was like trying to make his opponent, who's hand reading him, assume like, what is that card? You know, like, why would he point it at his own minion? Is that another shadow step that he discovered in his hand? You know, like because he was pointing a prize plunderer at his minion, even though it was a prize plunderer. So you would never assume that that's what that card is.
That's really smart, though. I like that. I mean, there's things like that you can do, or to like tilt your opponent. And I'm not talking about emotes, but like, say you've got a card in your hand, like I'm gonna play this anyways, and then I top deck the second copy. Like, you always play the top deck one, right? So just to like, it's when it's the perfect answer. Like, I was gonna do it anyways, but like oh sweet, I just top decked the right answer, and then they just rage.
DM is skill. There's a total way to do it while we're talking about this with Demon Hunter and Mana Burn. So if you ever want to make your opponent rage, I did not teach you this. So what you do is, before you play the Mana Burn, you sit there, do nothing, let the rope come out, let it go all the way down while your opponent is thinking about what he's going to do with the amount of mana he has the next turn. And then you Mana Burn at the last possible second. Just to make sure that they have the least amount of time possible to think about what to do with their turn with the amount of mana they have. And then you wait. You don't do it immediately, because if you do it immediately, they're already pissed off from the previous thing you did. You wait about 15 seconds to like when they're about to execute their cheap play, and then you emote. So once they came to the conclusion of the play that they're gonna do, that's when you start tripping them up and you start like sending them emails while they're playing with less mana. And that's how you make people super mad and play way worse. You just, make them infuriated.
That's great. Well, let me ask you, since we're on the topic, is there a certain portrait that you prefer, or a certain card back that you prefer? Of course, the 1K is
the Legion card back.
Okay.
And the Watermelon Demon Hunter, typically. That's about it.
Wait. What is the Watermelon Demon Hunter? I'm sorry.
No,
the 1K.
All of the decks that you were showing today.
Gotcha.
Watermelon colors.
Yes. But the 1K is almost watermelon colors too, isn't it? It's like green and red. But yeah, no, I have it too.
It's more cherry limeade.
Yeah, I can
say.
That's great.
Cherry limeade.
All the flavors of Demon Hunter.
I mean, I always thought of like those. God, I can't think of the name anymore. You know those the lollipop that was like, bright green, like apple, with the bubble gum in the middle.
Blow pops.
Yeah. Blow pop Demon Hunter. Jeez.
Oh my gosh. I just wanted to say this too, because I'm on this podcast. My favorite wild deck that wasn't Demon Hunter was Quest Turtle Mage. That was my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, I remember you jamming that. That was fun.
Yeah, ESC remembers when I was obsessed with it, where you would basically never let your opponent have a turn, and then do like 40 turns in a row of like hitting your opponent in the face with 1/1s and like repeating the quest over and over. It was like really hard not to mess up, because you'd have to do like 40 turns in a row. But did you ever do this, guys? Did you ever play Quest Turtle?
Man,
I did a little bit.
People play. I watched. I know Turtle. I know Mom was playing a lot of Turtle Mage, but I didn't play it. No,
it was.
So there was Turtle Mage, and there was one with the Elec that you shuffled the quest into your deck and then did it over and over, which was that one to me was so much more fun than the normal Turtle Mage.
because I just never get to play it again. This is, of course, before the turtle was nerfed to where it plays it from your deck.
I miss that deck.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, I miss it too. That's one of those that I agree. Like, I love playing it. I didn't like playing against it because it's like rage inducing. Like, I'm sorry, you're doing what now? Like, the first time you see it, it's like, oh wow, I'm impressed. Like, what the heck is happening right now? And then when you start losing to it consistently, it's like, oh no, thank you.
I did 18 turns in a row against an odd warrior one time to get rid of all the armor, and I felt really good. I was like, we win, let's go. Like I sat here for like 20 minutes to beat you. Non-stop playing.
That's a beautiful
Slow
thing.
and steady wins the race.
Wow. Love it.
Good times.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, let's move on. We're getting late and we got a match to stream pretty soon. So let's move into our weekly challenge. So for those of you who are new to the show, we do a weekly challenge each week. And it's kind of a community challenge where we issue a challenge. We see if people can pull it off or not. And whoever wins the challenge, we gift them a couple of packs and they get some bragging rights. And so the challenge that we had last week was brought to you by Maxibon, who is our guest on the show. Coincidentally, is one of our top 4 in the listener series. The challenge for last week was how many cards can you play in a single turn? And we had people posting their results in the Discord. This was a tricky one, I think, because a lot of times you can submit like a screenshot and that works just fine. And this one, it was like, well, we really need to watch it. And so send us like your link to HS Replay or Firestone or take a screen capture or video or something. But we had several people do really well. So starting up, we had runners up, Dr. Bomb with 13 and Mikkel with 15 cards in one turn. But our winner here is Kenray, who sent us a video, which was really fun. We had to watch it multiple times to actually count because we really start getting into like APM here with 17 cards or 18. Was it 18 cards in one turn?
One of the two. Either way, it beat the other ones.
Yeah. It was incredible.
Yeah, I think if there was some potential for some kind of OTK shenanigans, I think if if you get a couple of Sorcerer's Apprentices and a bunch of 0 mana stuff, but like, so I think someone missed out. Like, you really could, if you do like an Exodia type thing, you probably could have gone infinite. I think, or at least like
Rogue,
lots. With Rogue is crazy, right?
I was expecting a mage or a priest, is what I was thinking was going to happen.
Yeah, I was too.
With some sort of topsy-turvy thing happening, or discount your deck and get Sorcerer's Apprentices with Mage. But done with Rogue, which impressed me even more. So
yeah,
right? I mean, Rogue, is famous for Miracle Rogue, so this stuff happens. But I thought it was great.
Nice. Well, congrats to Kenray for that. And then this week's challenge, we wanted to do something Demon Hunter related, right? And so the challenge that we came up with a little bit like on the fly before the show was to see who can get the highest attack with your hero in Demon Hunter. Can you explain it a little bit better, Sheep? I mean, this is your idea here, but I like it. And I'm curious to see how big DracoCatt has gone in the past.
Yeah, so of course, Demon Hunter, particularly back in the day with a Soul Demon Hunter, is notorious for being able to have their hero wield the biggest war glaives. So the general idea is to buff those glaives up as big as they can be and have the little screenshot with the attack on your hero as high as it possibly can be. And of course, this can be played in ladder or casual. So must be constructed, no tavern brawl, and unfortunately cannot be played against the innkeeper or a friend because they can the friend can help you get there, and then keeper
It's too easy.
doesn't mean to help you get there, but
Yeah.
but he will.
Nice. So hero with the highest attack with Demon Hunter. DracoCatt, how high have you gotten yours before?
Well, first of all, you guys definitely need to specify whether or not Il'gynoth damage counts, because that like changes the game, right? Like,
So it has to be the number on your hero, like
okay,
that you
the
will
number
be pushing
on
for,
the hero.
so-
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say the most I've ever done was a 25 without Il'gynoth, and with Il'gynoth I've done like 46.
Okay.
Good luck,
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah. Hyperdonk.
Unfortunately-
That was the way that it happened. That's why it was called that. So.
Hyperdonk. I love it.
Unfortunately, Draco didn't take screenshots to send them in, but he
The videos
does-
exist in the past, but it's not the right time. So.
But you can.
Exactly. So send them in. We've got a channel in the Discord. Ship them there, and we will be evaluating those, and the highest attack will claim victory and a couple packs on us.
Nice. Love it. All right, everybody. Well, that kind of wraps it up for our show this week. I do want to say, before we wrap things up here, I do want to give a big shout out and thank you to our patrons, particularly Shokunin as the executive producer of our show. Thank you very much for your support financially, and also thank you very much to our patrons. So Disruptor 108, Claudette G, Daniel B, Wildcard, R. Morn, Ben from Work, AJ Gomez, and Number Theory. Thank you all very much for your support. If anybody who's watching or listening is interested in supporting the show financially, you can visit our website at borntobewildhs.com. If you click on the Find Us page, there's a link to our Patreon. And as well, if you're looking for some Born to Be Wild merch, we do have that available on our website. There's shirts and posters and stickers and that sort of thing with our cool orange dragon stuff on them. Also, a big shout out to Firestone. If you guys are interested in checking it out, got a pretty awesome deck tracker that they have generously gifted us some premium subscriptions to. It's been really fun to watch this kind of organically grow as they keep refining it, and their UI is absolutely beautiful. It is free if you guys want to check it out. There is a premium version that removes an ad, but the ad is not cumbersome anyhow. So anyways, DracoCatt, thank you so very much for donating your time, hanging out with us tonight, talking some Demon Hunter and Wild. Really enjoyed hanging out with you. Where can people find you if they want to interact with you or watch your content?
Yeah, I'm primarily a Twitch streamer, so you can find my Twitch at twitch.tv/DracoCatt with 2 T's, spelt like it sounds. I do have a YouTube as well. My upload schedule hasn't been super vibrant lately, but I'm sure it will pick up again in the future. But other than that, I do post all my decks and the things that are worthy of sharing onto Twitter. So if you just wanted the fruits of the labor, you could just follow me on Twitter and take the decks yourself. But if you want to watch them played, I do it on Twitch every weekday at 6 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time, which means it would be probably around 3 p.m. Pacific time, right? Is that works? Or 2 p.m.?
3.
Is it 4 hour?
3.
Okay.
So 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes,
That's why I was
okay.
doing 4, because that's for me.
Time zones are hard. Oh, just wait until we start interacting with people in EU or like Australia. Oh my god. Yeah. Very cool. And hey, do you if you want to shout out your podcast as well? MetaBreakers is super cool, and I recommend people checking it out.
Yeah, I do a podcast every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on either the Warshack or D-Money Games Twitch. And we do like a super compressed, quick version of a podcast where ours is like only an hour's long. We like cut a whole bunch of stuff out of it and just like jam through everything like really quick. So if you're into Hearthstone podcasts, but you find like you can't like listen to, a full like Coin Conceit or Born to Be Wild or something like that, that's like the whole niche of MetaBreakers is like the quick one. So yeah, if you ever want to do that, that's 1 p.m. Standard Times. But other than Eastern Standard Time. But other than that, thank you so much for having me, guys. It was a pleasure to meet Hydralisk and hang out with my buddy ESC and Nate once again. So
very cool, very cool. Thank you again. It's great hanging out. Hey Sheep, where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me across the internet at Electric Sheep City, where that fits, like Twitch, and where it doesn't, at eSheep City, like Twitter.
Very
Hydra,
cool.
how about yourself?
Well, I want to say also thank you again to DracoCatt. It's just, you've been an absolute pleasure, and it's been awesome getting to know you, and I'm super stoked to come and chill in your stream and check all that out. You've been awesome. And Sheep, also, I'm so happy that you've come to join us. It's going to be great. It always has been great whenever you're on. So I'm really happy, and let the good times roll. And Nate, you're just always awesome. So
I appreciate
thank you,
that.
Nate, as always, for running the show. You know, the man behind the curtain, doing all the things, pushing all the buttons, making all the transitions. You're always awesome. You guys can find me at Hydralisk_HS on Twitter and Twitch. Maybe I will do another stream and you'll actually be able to see me on Twitch again. And also come check out the Discord. We've got a vibrant community going on there. Lots of discussions about awesome wild decks, or just, maybe what you ate for breakfast. So come check it out, and we love you all. Nate, how about you, man?
Very cool. I'm very active on Twitter at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show and everything related on our website at borntobewildhs.com. I'm a little bit behind in updating it, but I should be able to get it all current as of this weekend. So I know I say that every week, but I actually mean it this time. If you're looking to find our past shows, they're up there. We've got some parody songs. We've got links to our YouTube content and stuff. And then if you're looking for wild players to follow other people's content, all of our past guests, we're in episode 65 now. We've had special guests from the community in almost every single episode. So if you're looking for other wild people to check out their content, we've got all of their links all over our website as well. And we would love to interact with you as well on the Discord. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Sheep, welcome to the show. And thank you again, everyone who's been here interacting with us live in chat. And that will do it for us. Thank you all, and we'll see you all next week on another episode of Born to be Wild.
Born to be wild.